I've just blasted up from Melbourne to Darwin, and tomorrow morning, nice and early, I fly straight out to the great Dhipirri, Barra and Sportfishing Lodge in Arnhem Land, which is just a short 2-hour flight, approximately 350 k's northeast of Darwin, where I'll be spending 3 days at Dhipirri chasing the mighty barramundi in the start of the runoff. I'll also give you a good look around Dhipirri Lodge and these sensational facilities that sits right on the coast, along with the amazing landscape and incredible river systems, being the Glide and Woolen rivers that run into Arnhem Land from the Arafura Sea. We'll also spend some time running through the gear we'll be using and some interesting facts about barramundi, plus some other tips along the way. I'm all set. It's going to be a sensational couple of days, I can just feel it. Will we get stuck into the big barra? Time will tell, so stay tuned as we kick off tomorrow morning for 3 packed days filled full of adventure. We are about to head out to Dhipirri, and we've got Murray, who is our pilot for the day.
So it'll be around just under 2 hours in total. So we'll basically be flying east the whole way, starting in Darwin, flying east to Manangrita for a fuel stop, and then onwards for Dhipirri Lodge.
Fantastic. All right, let's get on board, let's get out of here. It'll be a great trip. Well, good morning, gang. It is day one. We've settled in beautifully at Dhipirri. We've had a magnificent sleep, a terrific breakfast, and we've got the big boss on board today. We've got Daz. We're just waiting for Das and also Greg to jump on as well. But the plan today, Daz, we're heading up the Glide. We've got a bit of weather coming around, or a bit after lunch, so we're going to go and fish a few hours this morning.
Head up the Glide. Have a bit of a play with the active target.
Fantastic.
And then we'll probably come back out towards the mouth, and there's a few coastal rocks. And
I think after this rain that's forecast this afternoon, we might even duck out later tonight or something like that, or late afternoon for an hour or so.
Weather pending, we'll get out as much as we can, but there's a bit of rain coming.
Terrific. All right, let's get into it. Head up the Glide. Everything barramundi today, so I hope you enjoy. So Dad, the idea is that all these bigger fish are heading up to feed on prawns and different things on the runoff. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, so they'll push up with the tide.
Yeah.
Sit in a certain area, and if the tide starts to recede, they'll hopefully feed.
Yeah.
But you get all your tarpon, your prawns, rainbow fish, crabs, everything.
Yeah.
All starts getting flushed out from the wet season, so that's why they call it the runoff, I suppose. It runs off the top lines.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
Beautiful.
Hopefully they'll.
Everyone's chasing that meter barra, so we've got.
I'm just chasing a barra.
Yeah.
What about the meter crap?
What is the biggest barra that you've caught though, Darren?
Me, personally, 115 out here a few years ago. Got on charter, was 137 out at Shady Camp, 18 years ago, something like that. The biggest we got out here, lodge record out here is 116. We got 5 of those.
Greg, you're 104 by memory?
104 and 101, both last year. I hadn't really caught any barra till 3 years ago when I got here, and yeah, it's the point now where you catch a 96 when you're out here on your own. You know, you don't even take a photo. You just after that 1 metre. So yeah, it's addictive.
Yeah. And Das?
My biggest barra is 118, mouth of the Walcott,
Wow.
Kimberley's. And yeah, had 4 others on the boat in about an hour.
And are these fish normally schooling fish? Like you saw you one, you're going to see a few more in that area? Or?
Yeah, where there's one, there's generally another.
Yeah.
Some cases another 100.
Wow.
But doesn't mean you're going to catch
No.
catch 100 either. You can have 100 casts for maybe 1 fish, 2 fish, a few hits.
The idea of the active target and is to get the lure right in front of the fish. They're a bit like a trotting racehorse, if you like, with the blinkers on. So they can only see right there in front of them, and if it goes anywhere near their tail or over the middle of their back, whatever, they won't really turn and chase it. It's got to be right there in front of their face to see it and chase it. And it's got me buggered how we ever catch them trolling, but you'll see what I mean. And the idea is get their attention, little tap in front of them, get their attention, get them to turn, follow, and then hopefully they'll eat it.
So with the tides, is that something that you're following at this time of year? Ebb tide, flood tide? Have you got a preferred tide?
We fish all tides. Fish a lot of the run out and the first of the push, stuff like that. Usually when the push comes in, they start travelling up with it, move around a bit more.
So they go a bit quiet, slack tide?
Yeah, no run, no fun.
Yeah.
So all the bait gets up in the mangroves, up over the floodplains, over the edges. They're lazy. They're not going to go hunting for them. They'll just wait till the water recedes. They've got to get funneled out a creek or something like that. That's why you see a lot of fish caught mouth of creeks and stuff like that, because all the floodwater's coming out that creek and all the bait's getting flushed out that way. The old barras, they just hang around out the front.
Can you explain, I guess, a little bit about the neap and the spring tides?
Yeah, well, your neeps, your less movement, say from your high to your low, there's very little movement, which then you have good water clarity. Fish, barra, you catch them on all tides. I've had people book the best set of neeps for the runoff or whenever, and we've had the hardest trip. But with the bigger tides, especially this time of year with all the floodwater coming down, that all sits up the top, and as it comes down out of your creeks, you've got your beautiful colour change, your clean water hitting your dirty water, your colour line, and the barriers hang around, that sort of stuff. But with the big tides, it pushes all that back up, backs it up, and you still got beautiful clean water to fish on a big tide. So neap, springs, you just got to fish different, think different. Don't rely on just clean water. I've had some of the best trips I've had have been on springs, especially out of Darwin, 8 metre tides. And in there we used to say big tides, big fish. And barra, being a lazy fish, they'll use that tide to move. They won't swim against a strong current. They'll wait the tide push it in and off they go with it. So they might go from here to half over this river in one tide. There you go. Oh, he's turned.
Get the net. Oh, he's on you.
Oh, there's a boil there, look.
Oh, I see the boil he left out there in the water.
Shit.
He's after it. Sometimes the fish are coming at you on the screen. They don't look very big, but you're only looking at the width of them, not the length, the side on view. So sometimes they look fairly small, so you've got to cast at them anyway. And when they'll turn on your lure, you actually get a size of how big they are. And some of them cast at all fish is the moral of the story.
Well, there we go, Daz has done it. It's pretty solid to me, Daz.
Not bad.
look at that. Woohoo! What an absolute beauty. 84. Fantastic.
That's what all the hype's about.
Sure is.
Beautiful.
Well done. Dash is on again. It's a big fish. Wow.
You see him coming and come around the edge of the rocks and
Feeling some line. Popped you. Got you on the rocks.
A little bit. A little bit silly. A little bit. It must have just been wrapped around that rock there. So just what killed him there. Yeah, that's a good fish.
Wow. There you go. Well, certainly not the ones of your size. There you go. Oh!
Yep.
up down here away from that electric.
Motor. Turn his head, pull your rod the other way.
Oh, just hooked.
Probably back and back up a little bit. Well, he just got to be hooked.
Got him. Woo! There it is. Well done. Fantastic.
It's the biggest barrel.
It is. Absolutely. Yep.
Was the last one the biggest barrel?
Oh, geez. Yeah, up in Kimberley's, but yeah, that's the biggest for sure. Have a look at that. Fantastic. So we're going to show you how you go about handling fish and getting a good photo for them so you can release them. We're going to keep this fish. How do we go about best handling these fish, Daz?
This way, find the jawbone, long hard bone on the bottom jaw. Stick your 3-4 fingers under there. Come in his mouth with a good fistful. Lift his head up, Watch out for the anal spines and the pec spines. They are very sharp, and also never grab them by the gills. That's like a razor blade there. Straight razor blade. Give them up by the jaw, good grip, in under their belly, support them. Like I say, we're going to keep this on, take it home. So, and holding the fish like that, yeah, you might get a nice photo. Close his gills down, close his gills, pull his head down, hold his tail up. It's a lot better photo compared to that. People hold their head up like that, gills come open, it's horrible. And no good for the fish.
Yeah, fantastic.
And these days apparently you hide your fingers.
Yeah, make your belly rolls come.
Yeah, so that's the best way. And when we release them, we don't put them in and swim them. You pick them up and actually just
Spear them in.
punch them in as hard as you can.
Yep.
They get that bit of a shock of water go through their gills. Plus you're not hanging over the side waiting for something else to grab you.
Well done. Magnificent fish. Very happy. There you go. Get yourself up to Dhipirri. Catch some magnificent barra like this. Sensational.
Alright, I'll give you a quick run down here to fill these fellas. They're straight behind the vector fin. Gill plate, come straight down along the backbone. Shred the tail. These are probably one of the easiest fish to fillet. There's no pin bones, just the backbone. Over the rib cage. Like there's no, you ain't got the backbone, rib cage, that's it. There's no, like snapper, got the little pin bones you got to cut through. That's it. And now we skin it. Just make a little incision on the tail to the skin. A very thick skin on these fish. So you something to get your fingers into. Feather your knife down. Have a handful. Also a real sharp knife. As you feel it, just trim it up. Don't look at that bit.
Beautiful.
They tan these. You feel how thick that skin is.
Yeah, wow. It is thick, isn't it?
There's a little place in Humpty Doo called the Barra Shack. Tan all their skins, make wallets and keyring holders and
All done.
Beautiful.
Well, we've been rained out, gang, but we've had a absolutely sensational morning out on the fish, and we've got a bit of weather at the moment, and we're just hoping that's going to clear. We might be able to shoot back out the Sarbos. So we've had a bit of lunch, and Greg has been kind enough to show us a couple of tips and tricks that they use up here at Dhipirri, and he's going to run us through his way of doing the FG knot and also a loop knot.
All right, guys. Obviously, I've got the line which I need to do the FG knot on. Tools I need: pair of scissors, cigarette lighter, my glasses so I can see because I'm getting an old bastard, and a line puller. I'm not sure where you buy these from. They just screw together. They're really good. They're called Cast. One of the clients actually left it with me. If you don't want to spend money on a tool like that, you can just use a bit of poly pipe with a bit of tape on it. And they're really handy just for everything to do with braid. If you've got to break a lure off or pull it out of a tree or pull tight on it, that saves you cutting your hands. You can just wrap it around there with the tape without breaking your braid, and really good. Anyway, for this one I'm going to use this. What I do, because I mainly do this while I'm travelling, I'm just going to tie the line to the console. As you can see, it doesn't need to be out tight. Bit of 55 pound Snyder, and all I do is it doesn't have to be tight. Everyone seems to think that an FG knot has to be super tight to work. When you're tying it doesn't have to be tight. You just got to be comfortable. So I just start by going under, around and around. I do that again, around that one and around that one. Now I do that 12 times. Some people do an FG knot that long. It doesn't have to be. It's just got to be enough to hold it. Just let it go every time and make sure that it's folding up nicely. Just keep your thumb on the line so it keeps coming in. You can see there it's nice and neat. It's not uptight. It's not. I can slide that up and down the line as I like, pull it in and out. And a lot of people do this with the braid in your mouth, and that's fine. I'm just doing it this way because I do it a lot while I'm travelling. Cut your tag off nice and long and just do a half hitch over it. 1/2 hitch is all you need. That'll just sit there. So that's all you need to do with that for now. And you grab your line puller, up around 3 or 4 times around that end, 3 or 4 times around that end, wet it, and if you zoom in nice and close here, you'll see the line. This is the most important bit. This is where it's got to be tight. And you just pull it tight till the whole braid pulls up tight and changes colour, pulls in nice and tight, and essentially you could fish with that. That is your FG knot. All these knots on the end of it and stuff, they're just part of holding that knot in place. So that's, you could fish with that. You can't get that to slip no matter what you do because I've pulled it tight. And I think that's the most important thing. Now a lot of people just do half hitch, 10 or a dozen of them on there. I don't. I do what they call a risotto lock. And it's just a matter of making a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4 times through there. And then hold your tag end down along your knot, and all you potentially do is unwind that. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you pull that tight on top of your FG. Again, pull it tight. You see the nice little loop knot on the top. I do believe that the half hitches, after an hour of casting, they start coming undone, or you get a little tag on the end and starts catching on your guide, stuff like that. This never seems to do that. This is where the glasses come in handy. so don't cut off my handiwork. Just cut that off nice and close, leave about 1 mil. The tiniest little burn on the end, just tap him down, makes a little bell on the end so it can't come undone, and that's her. Pretty simple, pretty easy. As long as you get it tight, when you pull it tight in that middle bit, happy days, it'll never slip. All good. And then with it also, I'll just wind that onto the rod. You want it about the same length as your rod, because when you cast with these, you want your lure about 1 foot from the tip, and you don't want that knot on your reel. You want that knot off your reel to cast. So you just wind it on to where about you reckon you want to cast from, and trim your leader off to suit. Start with that, and as it gets too short, obviously you cut it off and tie a new one. So, and that's the FG. This is our loop knot we do. We do this on every lure, everything we do, whether it's reef fishing, Spanish mackerel, tie our wire onto the end with our loop on the end of it, tie a lure on. We just do away with all terminal tackle, all swivels, all. For one, you got the little Spanish mackerel, the little school max and stuff, they'll love a little bubble and a swivel, and they'll just hit it and snap you off every time. And the second reason is it's something else to fail. Something to get caught on snags and trees. And so we just do away with all that. So you just got your straight to your FG knot, to your leader, and all you do is a simple loop in the line. Through your eye. Whichever way that's coming out, you go back through the same way. Pull it down to a desired length and size, which is about there. Actually, I'll leave it a bit bigger so you can see what I'm doing. And essentially all I'm doing is go around the line twice, once, twice, and straight back through the same way, the same hole, same everything again. Pull it down tight, and so long as your tag end is facing down, you've got it spot on, and that'll, yeah, good as gold. That's what we do with everything we've got. So catches plenty of big fish. We completely lock it up, both thumbs on the reel, all sorts of stuff. That never fails. It's usually something else like a hook or a break the braid or something else, but I've never seen that just fail like that. So perfect, simple, easy, cheap, because you're not buying a heap of tackle to go with it. It's, yeah, way to go. Just another quick tip, one thing that we do, and the boss is very adamant on this, if he sees a lure sitting on your dash and it's not quite right, he gets a bit cranky, and I can understand. Everyone's here to catch a fish of a lifetime, and we never know when that bite is. That bite could be the next bite, or it could be in 20 minutes time, or whenever it is. The motto is, if in doubt, change them out. As soon as your hooks look a bit rusty, a little bit blunt, a little bit, how you going? If you caught a fish and your hook is a little bit bent, don't try and straighten it back straight and go again. That hook's likely to snap or bend easier on the next fish. So when in doubt, change them out. Keep a few trebles in your boat for whatever lures you want to use. Keep a few rings in your boat. And just one bit of advice with trebles is don't buy cheap stuff. Buy a good brand, well-known brand. They're all out there. So whether it's a hook that size, you think, oh, that's never going to bend or straighten, or hook that size or a tiny little one. When in doubt, change them out. Keep them new, keep them fresh. If you've towed it all day, the hook's still good, you haven't had a bite on it, grab yourself a little hook file. Just give it a little sharpen. Takes 10 seconds, each hook, give them a sharpen, put them back on your shelf or in your tackle box, and they're good to go next time. Blunt hooks don't catch fish. Alright guys, just a quick how to change a hook on a lure, and why you should change them is obviously the reasons we said before: rusty, a little bit bent, not sharp, whatever. When in doubt, change them out. Bit of advice is try and match the new hook, similar size to your old hook. You guys who made this lure and them lures and every other lure spend a fair bit of time on getting these things to swim properly. And if you go and put a great big hook on the rear of that, the chances are it's not going to swim the same. And there goes your chances of potentially catching a fish. So when in doubt, change it out. If you haven't got the right size hooks, chuck it back in your tackle box, use something else and get the right size hooks, because potentially you could be ruining that lure and the way it swims, and especially when you're casting them at, you know, million dollar barra up here in the Northern Territory, and 1 metre fish. You don't want to miss that $1 million barra that they got out there because of a $2 hook. So potentially with the pliers, all we're doing is leave the ring on the lure, tip him off, tip him out. I can't see a thing what I'm doing because I haven't got my glasses on. Pull your hook off. And then, if in doubt, if your ring looks a bit bent, a bit out of shape, a bit soft, doesn't feel like it's any good, change the ring as well. That ring's still okay. Just put your new one on. It's quick, it's easy, it's done. One thing is, if you're putting a lure, new hook on your lure up this way, on your lure, it needs to sit flat between your trebles like that. There's no point putting it where it wants to sit like that on your lure. It's got to sit between your trebles, nice and easy, so it doesn't foul up the way it swims as well. Try not to leave lures and stuff on all the rods here in the rod holders at the side. Every time someone walks past, they get their shirt caught on it or something else. As you've seen, the loop knot's easy to do, so you can cut lures on and off. To hold our line on our rods while we're not in use, while they're in the rod holder, is just bring it down to your braid, go through once, go through twice, and pull down on it. Now that locks your line there, keeps it nice and straight, keeps it out of the road, stops it flapping and tangling with all the other rods. And when it comes time to tie another lure on, just pull it out. It just comes undone. It's simple, it's easy, keeps everything tidy, simple as that.
So braid wise, Greg, preferred braid around 30 pound for you is what you're using?
Yeah, 30 pound on a lot of the barra rods. Some of us have got heavier duty trolling rods. We can use 40 or 50 on them. Generally it's 30, but some of the guys have got 50 on their trolling rods and their blue water rods. 30 pounds fine up here. As long as it's good braid. We use a lot of Suffolks. We use the Reedy stuff and Snyders and a bit of everything, but as long as it's not that real cheap eBay stuff that cuts your fingers and breaks every time you turn around, you'll be fine. I guess the idea of coming to a barramundi lodge that's all set up is that you don't have to bring anything with you, and that's true. You don't have to bring a single thing with you. Spare pair of undies in case you shit yourself, and that's about all you need. You know, a lodge like this, we've got all good gear. We've got good rods, good lures, good reels, good line, good leaders, good everything. But if you wanted to bring your own reel, your own rod, your own lures, feel free to do it.
Yeah.
Especially, and if you want to not travel with great big long rod bags, just bring a reel. We've got rods here. Feel free to bring your own reel and chuck on our rods and go out. And every guide here is trained, good guides, can fix everything up for you. Tie your leaders, help you with everything, go through your knots with you. If you're here for 3 or 4 days, we'll teach you everything we know about tying your own knots and tying your own leaders and fixing your own lures and what lures we use. So next trip when you go away somewhere on your own, you'll know all about it. So yeah, happy to help. We're not just fishing guides. We're secretive. We're here to help everyone catch fish, and that's the idea of the place.
Yeah. And how long have you been working at Dhipirri, Greg?
This is 3 years now. This is our 4th season, but 3 years. You don't have to be on a neat tide. Some of the best bites I've had here are on springs. Some of the easiest fishing is on springs because the fish are grouped together. You just, between a neat tide and a spring tide, you just fish different. And it's, you know, instead of fishing halfway up that river, you're at the river mouth or the headlands or the clear waters where you're getting queenies and trevally and everything as well. So yeah, it's really, really good. It's remote here. I think the sheer numbers of fish helps us catch a lot of fish and a lot of good fish. You don't see, I've probably seen 3 boats in 3 years that were out fishing.
other than our own boats. So it's remote, it's good.
So there's literally no road in, isn't there? Like the only way in to bring in supplies and things in volume is either by barge or obviously the plane, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right. And we've got access. Road access is about 40 kilometres away up the Glyde River. We can take a boat to Ramangini, unload a boat, drive in and out from there. Darren quite often does that late in the season with supplies and stuff like that. For the first half of the year, that's completely cut off from wet season, and the rest of the year you can't actually get to here. There's no roads to here, so all our supplies come via barge. Little bits and pieces on the planes where we can, and what we've got to get, we have to get. You know, we can go and get from Milingimbi shops and stuff like that. But they're a 40k boat ride to go and do that. So,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And typically around the country, I mean, in different areas, the Barra shut down a little bit as the dry season gets going, but not here at Dhipirri. The fish just tend to keep going as compared to other areas around the country, you know, perhaps up the Cape or different areas up in the west.
Yeah. Well, I've led to believe that, you know, when I was trying to book charters for myself years ago and trying to go and catch fish, that you try and book something in June, July, August in the Cape. No, there's no Barra this time of year. We don't do Barra fishing this time of year. And as far as I'm concerned, that's a load of crap. It's fishing is Barra there all year round. They don't just go away. They're there and they got to eat. And I think here is just a sheer numbers game. That if the Barra shut down, there's only 1 in 10 want to eat. Well, you still got 100,000 fish here. There's still 10,000 of them are going to eat. You know, so it's a sheer numbers game here. I think that it keeps it fishing all year round. And some of the best times I've had here certainly are in June, July, August, October, all them months where, you know, where the water's cold, even down to 25, 26 degrees. You still go out and get a dozen Barra, still get meteries. It's not the be all end all runoff and build up. So yeah.
So typically the runoff, I guess these fish are heading up the rivers looking for food coming off the floodplains. That's what's happening.
Yeah. So this year when I first got back out here, it was February. Everything was dry and oh shit, you know, we're going to have a shit runoff this year. I think it was 4 days after that it started raining, hasn't stopped since. So we're having one of the best runoffs we're having now. It's late, so all the fish are typically still at the mouth of the rivers, still working their way up. You need 2 or 3, probably maybe even 4 sets of tides. Then fish will slowly work their way up, and what happens is all the bait, all the prawns, all the tarpon, all the little mullet, little fish, all the bait comes off the floodplain as you get runoff, as it starts to dry out and it starts running off, and then Barra up there chasing it. So comparison is the Woolen River 5 kilometres that way, no runoff. As soon as the runoff is happening, every crocodile, every bird and every fish around is in that Glyde River where there's runoff. 3 months later, when the runoff nearly finished, there's fish everywhere again, every river. But typically crocodiles, birds, all that sort of stuff tells a tale, and if you can drive in the Glyde River and see 100 crocodiles in the first mile of the river, you pretty well know you're in the right spot and have a good day. They're not there for no reason. They know what's going on as much as we do. So yeah, it's just.
And what about the lead up to the wet? Is that when the Barra are spawning, or what's happening then?
Yeah, so I believe late in the season, October, November, December, they start grouping up, looking for partners, all that sort of stuff. If we're lucky enough to find, which we usually can, find where the big girls are all hanging together, generally you can go, they're hard to catch, they're just all together getting ready to spawn or breed. They might be 20, 30, 40 big fish all on the sounder, all in one gutter or one little mud bank or whatever, and generally they'll stay there for a month, 2 months, 6 weeks, who knows. But you just go fish that area. They will bite one period through the day. You might spend 4 hours on them, and all of a sudden they'll chew and you'll get a go at them, and that's generally it. You come back tomorrow and have another go. And when I say general area, could be a 5 kilometre stretch of river, or in the Milingimbi Islands, or wherever it may be where they decide they're going to go and breed and spawn. There's generally a lot of fish there. and then a lot of little male fish there around them as well, chasing them around.
And is that typically back towards more the salt, I suppose, where in the lead up to the wet, so you're coming back out to the mouths of the river, or not sort of more than a few k's up the river, because they're breeding in the salt, or is that?
I've found the last 2 years it's been in the actual Millingibby Islands. So the Millingibby is part of the Crocodile Islands, and there's maybe I don't know how many, 80, 100 little islands all grouped together, 50 metres apart. And there's certain spots in them islands that are deep channels and hold water when everything else is dry and stuff like that. And then, you just go and find them. You can spend 6 months in them islands and never fish the same spot twice. So we can go up there, and certainly winter time they stay warmer as well. It's shallow, it's island, it's fresh salt all year. No runoff there obviously because it's all islands and salt water, but there's millions and millions of fish through there, so go and find the big girls and get into them late in the year.
Well, they're incredible species, aren't they? I think they live to around about 20 years of age, but they obviously start their life as a male and mature around 4 or 5 years as a male, and then I think they turn into a female, correct me if I'm wrong, about 8 years of age, when they're probably around that 80 centimetre mark, maybe a little bit bigger than that fish we caught this morning, or
somewhere between 80 and 85 centimetres. They seem to think they turn into female. So typically at the lodge we don't keep anything over 80. Even if we've got plenty of 60 centimetre fish, we don't keep anything over 70 because they're well on their way as well. We only keep enough for what we can feed everyone that night or the next day, so we keep everything fresh. And then you get the odd example like that fish we caught this morning, and he was bleeding and stuff like that. There's no point throwing him back to the sharks, and we'll keep him and use him and throw some smaller ones back. So we only keep what we need, but typically we don't keep anything over 78 or 80 centimetres. We let all the big girls go, and that ensures breeding stock here for the next 20 years, big fish, and there's plenty of big fish out here, so it's good.
Amazing. Fantastic. Well, the A team's back out again. We've had a little bit of rain, but
Just a drop.
just a drop. It's late arvo.
Quick 100 mil of rain. Just a shower.
That's a shower up here. So we thought we'd just sneak out for an hour and just in between this weather. So what's the plan, Dads? We just
Back in the glide. Go back and see if we can get a couple of decent fish down the middle of the river.
Yep, okay. See if we can get a couple of fish.
Bit of weight there. Yeah, he's got a bit of weight.
Here we go. Straight under the boat. Get ready, you're going to jump out there.
Well, we've just pulled up and it is a solid fish.
I hope. A bit weighty.
Oh, he pulled the hooks on it.
That's it.
Pulled the hooks.
Take Craig back and get rid of them cameras.
Always the way.
So if you watch where that fish is, top left there, I'll just throw me lure. So you can see the splash, see me lure coming towards him.
So there's a Barra. Barra there. Barra there. And that's Greg's lure coming back to the boat now. So what's that fish there? I'll see if I can get
So you splash.
one little landed there.
So with the screen, you've got the measurements on the left there. How far do you know that fish?
It's 40 feet.
So it's 40, it's set in feet, okay.
So if I just turn this on, so that arc 20, 40, 60 feet grid. So here's my lure, here's the fish. I just let it sit there till it cuts him off.
Absolute game changer.
So my lure's right in front of his nose now.
He's got two in front of him.
He turned on one.
So what's making sort of the fish hold here? Is it just...
No, they're just floating with the tide.
Yeah.
Just floating through. They'll get so far with the tide, and if they're heading upstream, they'll hold up on the outgoing tide, and the tide comes back in, they'll keep pushing back up again. They can move a fair way in one tide.
Wow.
No, I can't see shit. Please wolf that down.
Woof.
Oh.
There it is.
91.
91. Wowee. Magnificent.
What's that in the background?
Huh?
There's the fish. Beautiful. 91 centimetre barra.
Well done. Well, pretty incredible. Slip out for an hour. Darren's just pulled a 91 centimetre barra. Absolutely amazing. Arriving at Dhipirri was easy, a short 2-hour scenic flight with Territory Air Services popping us down onto the very well-maintained dirt airstrip where the crew from Dhipirri were waiting for us to grab our luggage and check in and wave goodbye to previous guests. It's just a short 5-minute drive through the bush to the lodge, and as soon as you arrive, I'm sure your expectations, just like mine, will be exceeded with the great setup, manicured gardens, and how close you are to the front beach that overlooks the picturesque Arafura Sea. The main guest lounge is not only large in size, but also acts as the perfect indoor-outdoor dining meals area, along with a very well-stocked bar, all that overlooks the lush green lawns and trees that lead straight down to the beach and boat ramp. There is also a full commercial kitchen that offers amazing meals daily, which you'll see later in this video. The comfortable, solid cabins are all closely located to the main guest lounge, all with garden and beach views, plus a nice little covered deck is a great spot to sit and watch the sunrise. Cosy beds, air conditioning, plenty of storage and a bar fridge. With currently 7 guest cabins, Dhipirri Lodge can accommodate up to 15 guests at any one given time by twin or triple share basis. There are also 2 separate and very well maintained guest bathrooms with solar hot water, plus a complimentary daily laundry service, which means you can definitely pack light when visiting Dhipirri Lodge. Just 3 people per boat, plus your guide allows for heaps of room for everyone on board Dhipirri's well fitted out boats. And for those wondering, Telstra mobile coverage is also available and works really well. Well, day 2, gang, and we have had a sensational day's fishing yesterday. Some magnificent fish being caught as you saw. We've ducked out last night after that rain, Darren, and you've just sneakily caught a 91 centimetre.
Yeah,
just like that, just because.
Just a quick 91, you know.
Yeah, day 2. What's the plan today?
Today, I'm going to take you right up to the very top of the river, up to the floodplains, all the catchment area.
Yep.
It's beautiful. It is these big magnificent Arafura palms, wetlands. There should be buffaloes, there should be wild cattle, pigs, bird life.
Wow.
Massive big open floodplains that are all full
Yeah.
of water at the moment.
Yeah.
So we'll go up there and have a quick look. Fishing mightn't be too good up there because it's just peaked at the top sort of thing, not
Yeah.
even peaked yet, but there'll be a lot of water up there and it's just a beautiful place to see.
And that's the thing about Dhipirri, isn't it? It's not only about the fishing, it's everything else. Like, it's just a massive adventure. And then I guess that's what people come to see. They don't get to come to places like this that are just so remote.
We're pretty lucky to be able to access that area.
Yeah.
And it's just worth the look.
Yeah.
It does fish well at times. I'll say at the moment it might be too much water, but you've got to go and have a look.
All right, let's do it. Looking forward to it. Fantastic.
Let's do it.
So with the runoff, Darren, these fish, these bigger fish, they're heading up the river as that water's coming off the floodplains, I guess essentially looking for food. That's what they're up to?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big buffet about to happen.
Big buffet.
Yeah. All your prawns and your crabs and your rainbow fish, your tarpon, all that sort of stuff breeds up in the floodplains where we're going to head up to. And as it recedes, it runs off, we call it the runoff. It all gets funneled down the river out into these little creeks, and it's just a major food source for them.
And so these fish are pretty hungry. Like, have they been feeding through the end of the wet, or is that their spawning season, or what have they been doing?
Spawning season's around before the wet. I sort of say around November, I guess.
Yep.
So all your fingerlings that should have made their way up the top, and when it's flooded, your river, to the top of the river system will connect to all the billabongs up in the inland, and just becomes so they get up in there and they spend anywhere 18 months, 2 years up there.
Yep.
Then when they're ready, when they turn into males, because they're hermaphrodite, they'll turn from male, ready to turn into female, and they'll come back out into the salt water. Then we'll turn back into females and start the breeding process again.
They're amazing species. So they are spawning in the salt water, and those fingerlings are making all their way the way up that river system.
Sunny time, they spend their juvenile years up in the billabongs.
Yep.
And they mature into a decent sort of size male, anywhere from 70 to 80 centimetres.
Yep.
Which could take anywhere from 2 to 3 years. So a legal size barra, which is 55 centimetres, is about 18 months old.
Geez, they're quick growing, aren't they?
They do. They grow quick, and you'll see by just the amount of tucker that's up there, and they just gorge themselves this time of year.
So you've got 5 boats that you run, Darren, at a Dhipirri?
Yep. 5
Yep.
boats, 15 max clients.
15 max, yep.
Straight to a boat.
Yeah, which is great. So not too many on the boat.
No.
So it's 15 guests at a time, I guess.
7 cabins, 6 twin share and 1 triple share.
So how did Dhipirri all come about? It's been going now for
13 years.
13 years? Yep.
Yeah, always wanted to start up a remote lodge. I was guiding out of Darwin for 17 years.
17 years, yep.
And yeah, so we're getting a bit...
Felt like a change from that?
Yeah, long in the tooth, doing that sort of stuff, so next step, sort of going remote.
And how long did it take you to set up?
From the time I got the go-ahead to we started setting up, it's probably about 3 years.
3 years, yep. And did you start, you've got 7 cabins now, did you start with just 1 or 2?
We started with 4 cabins for clients, 2 for staff, and now we're up to 7 cabins for the clients, and we put a big staff quarters in just to make it a bit more comfortable.
And obviously setup would have been massive because there's no road in, you can only get stuff in by barge, so...
That's it, there's no access access by road as fly-in or by boat.
And so you normally come in around March and then bust out sort of October, or what's the...
Yeah, we do 9 months, so usually come back about mid-Feb. And been locked up for like 2.5 months.
What's the clean-up like after the wet?
Yeah, it's a big
job?
Big job, yeah.
Yeah.
Big job.
How many k's is the Clyde River up to the top?
Out to the top, probably. Don't actually go by water, but be good 40 k's.
Daz has just pulled in and spotted some buffalo. How many we got out there, Daz? There's...
Oh, a couple dozen.
Yeah. Forget taking the kids to the Gold Coast or Bali. You can come up here, see crocs, buffalo,
Yeah,
catch some barra.
you can't do it in a lot of places in Australia.
Exactly. And Dhipirri is exactly that. It's not just a blokes club, is it? Like, it's
No, we've got a lot of families come
a
out.
lot of families come up and
Mum
enjoy a
Dad
few days.
Mum
Yep.
and Dad and a couple of kids.
And you do a lot of corporate groups as well.
Corporate, singles,
Everyone.
yeah.
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 And that's the thing, I think a lot of people start out perhaps with the fishing in mind, but once they get talking to a few people and, you know, get up here, a few people that I have met and known that have come up and really enjoyed it as well, it's not only been the fishing, it's been everything. Like, it's just...
And it's not just barra fishing, and for some reason the barra are a bit tough one day. You just go straight out front of the lodge and you got your golden snapper, coral trout, trevally, queenies, tuna, mackerel.
yeah.
Just, yeah, you're not stuck doing one thing, and you got the option of chasing.
Plenty of species to chase, yeah.
And from this river to the next river, which is only 10 kilometres apart from mouth to mouth, they're totally two different river systems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this is more of a dirty, more barra threadfin salmon sort of river. The Woolen River, which is another 10 k's up, it's everything. Mangrove jacks, snapper, goldies, queenies, everything.
It all happens, yeah.
Black jewfish.
Yep. And mud crabs too, you can
Muddies,
come up
yeah.
and get some muddies.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yep.
Plenty of muddies up here.
Yep.
Bit hard at the moment, the old mud crab, because they don't like the fresh water. It pushes them out.
Pushes them out,
So,
yeah.
But we're still getting a few. Enough for a feed.
And you have the weekly mud crab night. Is that a weekly thing back
Yeah,
at
so
back
once every group we'll have like we call a seafood night. So it'll be a whole snapper and whole trout, barra bites, the mud crabs, the plain old steamed crab, then you have your chili or coconut crab, and
Fantastic.
sit down the front near the fire, and
Yep.
yeah, pretty cool night.
And your favourite fish to eat?
Oh, have to be golden snapper.
Golden snapper.
Yeah,
Okay.
Finger mark, other states.
Yep.
Yeah, goldie.
Yep. Golden
Probably golden snapper, coral trout, bit of a even playing field, then threadfin salmon, then barra.
threadies, yep. And then the barra, yep. And your favourite fish to catch?
Barra.
It's got to be the barra.
Barra,
Yep.
I mean, look what it's done to me.
So another thing I've learned about Dhipirri too, Daz, is that typically other areas around the country, the barra do shut down a little bit, don't they, in sort of that mid sort of dry season, but here they go all the way through.
Yeah, you can catch them all year round.
Yeah.
Dry season, people think just because the weather's cooler, the water temperature's cooler, they come what they don't. They get used to it, they come back on.
Yep.
It's just that sudden drop in temperature. So it's 30, say water temp's 30 degrees one day, and you get a heap of rain or you get a cold change come through like we do in the dry, and it drops down to 27, 26 overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll shut it down.
Yeah, okay.
But it stays at level temperature. So within a couple of days they'll come back on the low.
Come back on.
It's a sudden change.
Yep. Yep. No, that's great. So yeah, for those people that, you know, can't get here for holidays and different things, and the start of the runoff or the lead up to the wet or anything like that, they can come up any time right through the dry and you know, catch fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the weather's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather's nice at the moment. We've had a lot of rain around. But once that cloud goes and she'll warm up real quick, but come end of May, June,
Yep.
July, August, the average up here is awesome.
Yeah.
It's beautiful every day.
Yeah, I found it not hot at all. Like, it's been absolutely
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
As I say, we've had plenty of rain and cloud cover. That all went within a day, so pretty warm.
There's just so many big fish. I couldn't believe it last night. Like, just, yeah, seeing those fish come to the surface, it's just amazing. And most of the fish you catch, they're released. You only keep a few here and there.
Enough for the lodge.
Yep.
We were there with no one. Part of our lease and that, we don't take fish go out of the lodge.
Yep.
Only what we use. It's better for us anyway. Looking after the stocks.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. Heading towards the top of the Glide River, I started to get the sense that this was definitely a special place for Darren, and I soon started to see why as the river narrows and the floodplains become more apparent with grazing wild cattle and buffalo visible due to the floodplains that run right down to the river's edge. Every few kilometres, a big crocodile bobs its head underwater as we shoot past its speed. The bird life is also amazing with flocks of corellas, magpie geese and even some eagles that were circling high in the sky. It wasn't too long before the Arafura palms that Darren was talking about earlier also started to appear, and the colour of the lush grass over the floodplains is an unforgettable, almost electric iridescent green that pops from the river's edges. As we approached the very top of the Glide River, right on cue, we were also lucky enough to spot wild buffalo that are a little hard to make out in this video, but were quite close in real time, wading through the floodplains. And at this point, when you reach the top, you can see exactly why the barramundi are pushing their way upriver, knowing that there is going to be a huge amount of food waiting for them flooding back into the Glide River. Now it was time to head back down for a fish a few kilometres from the mouth of the Glide for the start of the push, as Darren calls it. How long have you been using the active target, and how dramatically has it improved things?
It gives you that one more option. So when the fish do go quiet, when you are trolling the snags and the rock bars and casting snags and that, tide gets too high, everything starts to flood. You can it's another option to go out midstream and just chase a couple of big ones.
Oh, you're on! You bloody beauty! Well done, it's a big fish too! Woo! Well done, Daz. How exciting was that on the active target? Turned its head, and look at the size of this thing. Bang. Wow. And that is what Dhipirri is all about. Have a look at that. Wow. Woo!
I'll let you go.
There it is. Have a look at that. Whew.
'86.
86. There it is. Beautiful fish. Fantastic. We've got Callum and Brooke, who look after everyone with their meals, and I've got to say I am very, very impressed. I have been so well looked after.
Yeah, so everything's catered for. Usually when they're first inquiring about coming here, they'll get asked if they've got any allergies or dietary requirements.
Yep.
Providing everything's all good, they'll get a cooked brekkie,
Yep.
which is they get a breakfast card, they get to choose whatever they like, how they want their eggs, bacon, sausages, whatever they like.
And if they
or
want
they can choose a takeaway toasty, yeah.
Takeaway toasties
Yep.
on the boat, which I had this morning, which were sensational, by the way. So depending on what time people are heading out fishing, you guys
Yep.
get up early, you're
Yeah,
preparing
yeah.
brekkie for everyone.
Sometimes he's here at 3 a.m.
Yeah, yeah.
3
I'm
a.m.
the first one awake, yeah.
Wow,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so
Last
big long
week we had
days.
a breakfast at 4:30, and
Yeah,
so
so
he
I'm
was
here
here
at
at
3:30.
3:30, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Tea, coffee's always available,
Yep, yep.
fully stocked bar, which
Yep.
is everything, got everything. Yep, so
Everything
fully
you need.
stocked. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
yep. So
You can request anything before you arrive. You can say if you want a box of, I don't know, some random Japanese beer, you can
Yeah.
ask for it and we'll get it for you.
okay, yeah, because
Yeah,
it's you can't bring alcohol to Dhipirri. It's a
Yep.
dry community,
Yep.
so but obviously we're fully licensed
Yep.
here as
Yep.
well. So and lunch, we had our amazing wraps on
Yep.
the boat today, which were really good. So you're
Yep.
preparing lunch and on board on the boats.
So it's usually two different cold meats, whether it's roast chicken or roast lamb.
Yep,
I usually try and rotate it every day.
fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yep,
some fresh
excellent.
veg, lettuce, tomato.
and a sweet.
Yeah, yeah.
And a sweet.
A
Yep,
slice
And then-
or a cake or something.
yep, terrific.
Yeah.
I missed out on the slice today.
Did you? That's Greg's.
I reckon Greg might have snaffled all
Maybe he
the
did.
sweets.
Really?
Yeah. I
Maybe.
reckon I'll have to have a word to him about that.
Yeah.
What's on the menu tonight?
So we've got pork belly bao buns for entree.
No way.
Yeah, it's
All
one of my favourites.
Honey
Okay. Yep.
And I've got a Cajun spice barra with roast potatoes,
Yep.
steamed broccolini and a romesco sauce for main.
And is that the barra that I caught today?
Maybe.
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 Okay. Maybe
Yeah,
not.
probably.
Maybe.
No, I don't know.
Okay. All right.
We'll have a look.
And that's the beauty too. So if if we decide to keep a fish,
Yeah.
most of the fish are released, as you would have learned in the videos. But you do keep a few to keep the guests rolling along, and a few people want to eat their fish.
Yeah,
and
They
that's
want to eat
absolutely
their
fine.
fish that
exactly.
night. When
Yeah.
you know, we'll bake it whole.
Yeah.
And they'll eat it
Yeah.
that night.
If you go out to the reef and catch little goldies or coral trout or something, I'll do a whole baked fish on fish and chip night.
Yeah,
and it's
fantastic.
really nice. Yeah.
Now tell me when you guys get to go out for dinner, because this is a power couple, by the way. So Callum and Brooke are a couple here working
Yeah.
together. When you guys get to go out to dinner, do you order the fish or the steak?
Pork.
The pork.
You love a good pork, eh? Yeah, I
Yeah.
like a good steak.
You like
You like
steak.
good steak,
You
yeah.
just order steak.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't usually order fish.
I have
You don't-
ordered
no,
fish
okay.
a few
No.
times.
Yeah,
but
sometimes.
definitely a salmon. If it is a salmon, I'll
Salmon?
order it.
Yeah, no. Well, the food here is absolutely amazing. Couldn't recommend it highly enough. So, yeah, fully catered. They really look after you. You guys are doing an amazing job. Really looking forward to tonight's pork bao buns as well.
Yeah.
So that's going to be terrific.
good.
Yep, excellent. And I can see a few boats coming in now, so you guys are about to get into it.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah.
terrific. All right, we'll let you get into it, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Cheers, bro.
Okay.
Thank you.
12 his left. Another one coming down, another 2. I couldn't have got any more between them if I tried.
Here we go. So you can see his lure. Ooh.
Oh. That was close.
Yeah. There we go, guys. There's a couple of big fish here.
Right in front of his nose. We turned him.
Turned him. Oh, he's on it. Oh!
You lazy prick.
So close.
Oh, cracked that.
There is just so many big fish here. Here we go. There's one there, one there, one there.
I'm on top of it.
And you can see Daz's lure.
Come on, catch up to it. He's on it there now.
Oh!
Oh, he just nudged that just then.
Wow.
Oh.
So you could see his lure just down here, and it just got hit.
Half-hearted bump.
On?
Oh, the big fish. They're off the rod tip.
Big fish coming through here. And then you'll be able to see the lure right on it now. Another big fish. Ooh. Turned him. Oh, chased it.
Ooh. You might have another go.
He was very interested. So again, you can see the lure coming down. He's just about on the fish. Turned him. He's coming, he's coming. Twitch. Ooh, he's going to hit it.
Oh, look, look, look.
Oh.
The bow wave there. He's just hit.
That was close. On!
Oh, dropped him.
Dropped him! Oh, bugger! Whew. We said something was going to happen. There we go. It's top of the screen now. And have a look at that, peeps. Beautiful sunset. Oh my goodness. Another solid fish.
See if we can land this one.
Oh yeah. Wow. That's a beautiful barra. Oh,
You got down there?
what's that?
You got wolf down there?
Yep. Here he comes. Bang! Have a look at that! What a monster! There we go, guys. 93 centimetres. Absolute thumping fish. You worked pretty hard for that one, Darren. The great man's hooked up again. As soon as that sun went down, they just switched on. There are heaps of fish coming through. Ooh.
Wow.
There you go. Bit of a light show for you. There it goes. Oh yeah.
Nice fish.
That is a beautiful barra. That lure's done some damage tonight. Yeah, she's not quite ready.
Oh! So I felt that hook pop earlier.
Yeah.
No.
That's all right. Saves us releasing it. We got a really good look at it. A magnificent fish. Well done. Woof!
All right, couple more.
Another great fish, Dad. Here it is. Oh! I'm saturated.
Yeah. It's not ready yet. Give it down, that's it. Pull her out. Yep. Oh, yes. Look, I see him lift the head up a little bit.
Here we go. Think it's ready.
Yeah, just let her go down. Plug your nose up.
They are just so fun. Everything about them. They look good, they fight. Oh. Have a look at that. There is my PB right there. Darren has stuck it out. We have gone through the ringer tonight. We've lost a couple of fish. Darren's caught some absolute beasts as well, and there's my PB. 89 centimetres, Daz?
89, mate, yep.
Have a look at that. Magnificent. I couldn't be happier. You got to get yourself up to Dhipirri. It is absolutely sensational. There are so many fish, so much to see. That is exactly what I came here to do. Thanks very much, Daz.
No worries, mate.
An amazing trip.
My pleasure.
We'll let this fish go.
Yeah, chuck her in, mate.
Rightio. Here we go. Off she goes. Woo!
Well done.
Well, that one was very exciting. On the screen, and we saw it coming down on the screen. Oh, it's a big fish too. Daz just twitched that lure in front of its nose and it turned and just went bang.
I think she knows she's hooked yet. Right, she's hanging in.
Just there. Whoop. There it is. Wow. That could be fish of the night, that one. That's a monster.
Oh, look. Oh.
Oh dear. It is just hooked. Oh. Still got it?
Yep. Oh, let's come out and go back on her again. Now it's on the cheek, the worst spot to get it.
We are having an insane session on these big barra.
Oh, the wolf just there.
Wow. Just there.
I think a little fish just died. Ooh, fish trying to buff that lure out.
She's not ready. She's not going to give up. Ooh.
Still happening. Dolphins are in.
Those dolphins are chomping into those gars. There it is. Look at that. Daz is just taking his time. Wow. Got to be in the 90s, I reckon.
Close.
There it is. Another magnificent Dhipirri fish. Gotta say, Darren, you're not too bad at this. Have a look at that. Fantastic.
93.
93, there you go.
Time for us to go. Here comes the rain.
Yep, rightio. Now we're just heading back in. Incredible stuff. What a day we've had.
All right.
Some magnificent fish.
Yeah.
Yep.
How big?
My biggest was 89.
Yeah.
Darren got a 90, couple of 93s I think, and 91. What'd you get, 4 or 5, Darren? 4? Yeah, I got a couple.
Cool. We're biting.
To say that they breed them tough up here in the territory is an absolute understatement. I've met some great people. We've seen some amazing things in just a few days. But everyone, this is Sean, who is one of the head guides out here at Dhipirri and has been catching some amazing fish. But also last season?
Last October, mate.
Last October.
First October, yeah.
Shauno got grabbed by a croc and off the side of the boat. So, Sean, what happened?
What happened? Right, well, we were up the Woolen River.
Yep.
Had some clients on, the Hammonds, return clients, always
I think
come
they're
back.
here now. They've
Yep,
come back.
Yeah, they're back here now.
Yep, Misha and his boys.
Misha and the 2 boys, yep.
Yep.
So we were up the Woolen River and we were lure fishing for barramundi. Wasn't a bad day and it was starting to slow up a bit, so the boys said, let's get going. We left the spot, heading back to the lodge, and I saw a bit of a bank slide. Thought, I'll pull up and I'll have a couple of flicks here. Never fished there before.
Yep.
Righto, yep. Oh, one more cast, boys, so we pull up. I go up the front of the boat, put the electric down, electric motor.
Yep.
Come back, stand on the side of the boat here and point to where they want the boys to cast.
Yep.
So pretty much where I'm sitting here is where I stand.
You're standing on the gunnels.
Standing on the gunnels.
Yep.
All right, so pointing to the boys casting here. We're only there probably 2.5, 3 minutes, I'd say. It wasn't long. There's only a couple of casts the boys had. I picked up a rod out of the rod holder and I said, no boys, cast over here. And I just cast the lure in and then just felt like a, I don't know, brick hitting me in the leg. It's pretty...
So it was that quick?
It was pretty heavy duty, yeah mate, yeah, it just came straight up from behind. And I'm always onto it and looking around, we didn't see any crocs or anything like that. And that's what happens to the ones that you don't see. You know, they're the ones that are going to get you.
Isn't it incredible?
So,
just lightning fast, come up, launched, grabbed you. And where did it hit you? It grabbed you?
It grabbed me on the knee, it jumped up, came up from behind. So
yeah, you can see the scars.
Grabbed me on the knee here, and here, the bottom tooth went through here. Its bottom jaw was hanging out here. I put my hand down and tried to lever it off underwater.
Yep.
we were probably 1.5 metres under the water, I suppose. I'm not too sure, but we were under there for quite a while. And the water was quite clear, so I could see everything going on. I tried to push him down like that, and I'm only thinking that because he didn't have a good grip on the end of his snout, that he's let go and tried to get another one. In that instance, I kicked him with the other leg in the head, and he's turned. We were both underwater. He swam that way, I've swum up, and then we both came up and surfaced together. Okay, so we've surfaced together. He's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. It's like, right, so I've turned around, and lucky the current wasn't running.
Running away from the boat. Yeah,
well,
okay.
it was a turn of the tide,
Yeah.
so we were
Yes.
pretty lucky, you know.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the current would have washed me down or up, whatever.
Past the crop. Yeah.
Right into the path of him.
Yeah.
And he would have cornered me off before I had a chance to get back to the boat. There's no worries about that. He would have. So I've turned around, started swimming towards the boat, and I see the boys were there, and they were ready to pull me in. That was Isaac Hammond and Mr. Hammond. Yeah. And so they reached down, pulled me up into the boat. We ended up in the boat. I didn't really worry about the injuries by that time. I wasn't really thinking about that. I just sort of wanted a little bit of revenge or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw him sitting over there, and he was coming in again, so I reached over and just splashed the water. He's come over, and I grabbed the lure pole and hit him over the head with it. All right, so he's turned around. He's gone back about 2 or 3 metres and turned around again, and then just started coming in again. So I hit him again. We hit him twice with the lure pole, and then he just backed off a little bit and just sat there. And he wasn't going to move. He wanted someone. He wanted me.
Wow. He got a taste, yeah.
He got a taste.
Yeah. And how big was this crop?
About 3.5 to 3.7 metres.
Wow.
I'm guessing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, incredible stuff.
Yeah, it was a good size.
Well, we're glad you made it, mate.
Yes,
and
mate,
but that could have been an absolute tragedy.
Oh, for sure. It could happen so quick.
So quickly.
Yeah. And definitely a lot more aware now.
Yeah.
Probably won't be walking around on the sides ever again.
On the gunnels, yeah.
But, you can look and look and look, but if they want to get you, they'll get you.
They'll hunt you down.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, I'm sure Dhipirri and all the crew here are glad that you made it, and I can see that you've been catching some amazing fish and happy clients everywhere.
Excellent,
so
mate.
terrific.
Yep.
Good on you, Shawnee. Well, there it is, gang. That's it for me. I am heading back to Melbourne today. It has been an incredible 3 days up here at Dhipirri Lodge, and I highly recommend that you get yourself up here and experience exactly what I've experienced up here. It is incredible, and the adventure it's amazing, and it really starts, I guess, from the moment that you leave Darwin, getting up in that little plane, seeing Arnhem land from the air, landing on that little dirt airstrip and meeting the team, who are also super friendly and very knowledgeable. The facilities are amazing, right through from the accommodation all the way through to the meals. It's just incredible. They really do a great job. And of course, then there's the fishing. We were after the barramundi over the last few days, and as you saw, we caught some amazing fish. They are just huge up here, and there are so many of them. And the beauty about Dhipirri Lodge is, as compared to other areas that you go to chase barramundi, there's just so many fish up here that you will get them all the way through from March when the team open up after the wet, all the way through to October. You can catch other species as well. You can go mud crabbing, you can catch threadfin salmon, mangrove jack, heap of other reef fish as well. And there's just so much to see and experience. And the landscape changes in every different direction that you go, from the Glide River, up the Woolen, or around the islands, or just through the ocean here to the north. And the beauty about Dhipirri Lodge is you can jump on a plane from Melbourne, 4 hours you're in Darwin, get a connecting flight, 2 hours and you're out here at Dhipirri Lodge. I went to Cape York last year and it took me a week to drive to Cairns. So you can leave Melbourne early in the morning and be fishing in the afternoon. It's just amazing. There is no roads into Dhipirri Lodge. The only way that they get supplies in is by barge or by the smaller planes. So it is really, really remote. It's not just a blokes club either. Lots of families, lots of corporate groups come up here. So it is for everyone. And it's a trip that I guess your family or a few mates fishing will just remember forever. And you're going to catch fish. These guys are going to put you onto the fish 100%. Well, there it is. I hope you enjoyed that. Get yourself up here, head to the Dhipirri website, give them a buzz, book yourself in. You're not going to regret it. It is going to be the best trip that you've ever done if you're into massive adventure.